Hey family, so I just want to share some things that I've seen over the years and I've been learning. But first of all, I want to just say this. We're in a really hard time spiritually. The enemy is really pissed off. He knows he's out of time. He's full of hate. He's full of lies. And he's warring against the saints of God, trying to wear us thin. He's trying to wear us out. You know, the Bible says that. I'll just pull it up. Wearing out the saints. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of time. Interesting. Well, we know that the devil's time is numbered. And he is always trying to change things. You know, he thinks he's God and all. He thinks he knows better, but he does not know better at all. You know, I gotta be honest, I have not prayed enough today. You know, there's a lot of spiritual warfare going on within the body of the brothers and sisters here, and I'm sorry I haven't prayed for you guys enough. You know, I love you guys, and I really pray that you get through this in strength and spirit and truth, and that depression is broken off of you. You know, all this lies that's been told to you, I pray you don't believe them. So I'm with you in spirit, I'm with you in my heart at all times. My heart is with you all. So let me show you some of the things that I've got here. Okay. Alright. Okay, in Job 37:18 it says, "Has thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass." I mean, if you have fear and trembling of the Lord, you understand the principal fact that he sees all things. There is no hiding. That's just one simple thing. Another thing, you know, these national parks and national wonders of the world are, what does that look like to you? What does this look like here? I wish I had a bunch of pictures of that, but does that not look like carved stones that is like desolate land? I mean, we think it's beautiful. I think it looks like dry places. I think it looks like it's been carved out by machinery and etched in a unnatural way. You have to have spiritual eyes to see this. You know, this Freemasonry symbol. You have to understand symbols too. We need to be able to recognize what they try to, you know, the magician, the wizardry behind this, and so we don't get fooled. When you know the trick, there's nothing to it. It's like, it loses its mysticism, doesn't it? And the devil is just hiding. But once you see him, it's really easy. This here says, this was written by Freemasons. It says that we are constantly, by means of our press, arousing a blind confidence in these theories. The intellectuals will puff themselves up with their knowledge, and without any logical verification of them, will put into effect all the information available from science which our agentur specialists have cunningly pieced together for the purpose of educating their minds in the direction we want. Do not suppose for a moment that these statements are empty words. Think carefully of the successes we've arranged for Darwinism. These minds are sick. Okay. Job 21:14-15 says, Yet they say to God, Depart from us, for we do not desire the knowledge of your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit do we have if we pray to him? Yeah, well, you really do need to understand that there's much to profit from praying to God, and you're really losing out by not having the conversations that you need to have. You know, he is real, he's living, and we're really disrespectful to not acknowledge him. Let's see. I was talking about this in a different video. Celtic salt or sea salt is pure, unprocessed, hand-harvested salt. By hand harvesting, a staggering 82 minerals are extracted. The salt contains active key minerals and trace elements of magnesium, calcium, and potassium. What is the point of buying a shelf, plastic, laced, cased, whatever the poopy, when you can just buy some salt? Come on, man. Just buy some salt, drink some water, you're gonna be alright. You could live off of this for... You could live off of that and a cracker for a lot longer than we believe. We think we're so weak, and really it's the mind that's lying. We're capable of extraordinary things. Okay, Matthew 6:7-8 says, But when you pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathen do. For they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking, but not you therefore like unto them. For your Father knoweth what things you have need of before you ask him. Okay, you need to be praying from the heart, not from vain repetitions. You know, I wake up, I say the same thing every day, there's nothing to it, it's autopilot, there's no heart in it. You know, I say it over and over and over and over. It's lost its meaning, okay? It really has. The main methods used to control human behavior under MK Ultra mind control includes radiation, electroshock, psychology, psychiatry, sociology, anthropology, harassment, substances, paramilitary devices, I'm not going to try that again. Devices and materials, LSD. You know, they want to shape and form and mold our minds because they know that we are supposed to be formed by God. We're putty for God. We're supposed to be formed under spiritual principles and truths, and if we let the dark spirit run us, then we're gonna fall victim to all of these things. You know, we don't wrestle against each other. We war against spirits and principalities of darkness, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world. You know, the original translation from the Hebrew included these powers, these rulers of darkness, being rulers of government. These are governing rules. These are not just spiritual rules. These they own the power. That's why Satan said, I'll give you the kingdoms of the world. Look at all this stuff. That's his stuff. It's his stuff. All this junk that we think we love and want so bad. WWW is another thing that translates to 666 World Wide Web. And what does the where did this, creation come from? Again, was it a scientist that was on an evolutionary spark, or was it a evil spirit masquerading as an angel of light that led them to this, discovery that brought them to this creation or whatever, and scientific breakthrough that ultimately was to our demise as a culture? Okay, this is very possible. That same exact symbol there, World Wide Web, it's the exact same symbols in the Hebrew calendar that I was just showing you. Is it really a coincidence that the forbidden fruit that we all think is, what we were told not to eat in the garden that Satan tempted us into, we refer to as that is an apple, and the apple has a bite out of it, and the first Apple computer was sold for $666.66. I mean, come on, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. He marks his stuff. He marks his stuff. God marks his stuff. Satan marks his stuff. Here's more of those pictures. Okay, you tell me, does this look like a national wonder of the world? No rights to no copyrights to this. This is just the Google photos. You can Google these yourself. These are all on the internet. Every single thing I'm showing you is on the internet. It's public access. I don't have anything that's not out there already. So I'm just showing you what isn't on your everyday broadcast. That looks like a big tracks for a machine that drove through there and rototillered the ground. Deuteronomy 29:23. All its soil burned out by sulfur and salt, nothing planted, nothing sprouted, unable to support any vegetation, like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord destroyed in his fierce anger. Repent, therefore, and turn to God, so that your sins may be wiped out. Sulfur balls, aka brimstones, found along the Dead Sea, still easily set on fire to this very day. And that's crazy. That's just a rock that sets on fire over and over from the same Sodom and Gomorrah that God burned. Some of the things that I research, I'm not really going to touch on too hardcore, but this is a great video to look into on Odyssey, and it's called If Flat Earthers Were Right by Shane St. Pierre. Wow, so our Statue of Liberty sure does look like this. Helios. Sol, from the term solar system, comes from the most powerful sun god in ancient Rome, known as Sol Invictus. They also call our solar system the heliocentric model, which is named after their sun god Helios. So again, pagan gods, other idols. Thou shalt not follow after other gods. Thou shalt not worship any other god besides the Lord. All these idols and statues and graven images. You know, when Moses got back from the writing the Ten Commandments with God on the mountain, he literally just got the slaves out of Egypt. And what were they doing? They made a graven image. They were partying it up, and they had totally just forgotten what God had done for them. They had totally just made a million idols. They stopped praying to God. Moses came back with the wrath of God looking at the people. I left you for 2 seconds. What happened? Where'd y'all go? Well, it still happens. Okay. Exodus 23:13 says, "And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth." Yeah, because seriously, who cares? Why do we care? Why do we care about all this other crap? Who cares? Okay, but we should know the enemy. Okay, Osiris. Let's see. Interesting. What in the fork is that? Is that a sun? Are you worshiping the sun there? Oh, sun. Which sun do you guys talking about? I don't know if you're talking about the Son of God or something else. Ezekiel 8:16. Behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs towards the temple of the Lord, and their faces towards the east, and they worshipped the sun towards the east. There's different types of worship, different types of gods. The money that in God we trust, quote unquote, on our dollar bill in the United States of America you know how broad of a term God is for every culture and land? We're in a melting pot. We have every culture and nation in one spot. We're like, Babylon all over again. All speaking one language, which is English, which is a melting of all other languages, and everybody that's here is from different cultures, different, countries. I don't know how I got so off topic, but the point is everybody worships or comes from different cultures of gods. And when you say, "In God we trust" in the United States, that the people that made that money and have that oath and work with that money as their trade definitely are talking about Satan as their God. They definitely worship the dark power. They're definitely into Luciferianism. They are not talking about Jesus Christ. They are not talking about the Creator God. They're talking about Lucifer, who God created, who fell, and who thinks he's God, and who made us think we're gods, and who gave us this rebellious sympathy for the devil is over. Okay. Look at this guy. Does that look like an actor to you, man? That was like literally a man that works for NASA. I don't know, man. I think that might be a suit. Buzz? You gotta be kidding me. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. You think you're really going to space, buddy? What is that? 666. I wish you... I wish you could see this here. Let's see. Tools. No. Huh. Well, I wish I could write on this freaking picture. It's not letting me. So I will give it up. Anyway, you can see the 6. Science discover impenetrable barrier above Earth. You understand? Impenetratable. You can't get through it. These are called spikes. These are little electricity happening in the atmosphere above us when you go real high up that are happening pretty much constantly. Lightning sprites captured at night many miles above the clouds in the firmament. Look like little jellyfish. Some properties of atmospheric indications of light scattering from observations. Flight presents. It's really hard to read for me. In the investigations, two instruments designed by V.G. Fesenkov were used. One of these was a visual photometer of the daytime sky intended for measuring the brightness of the firmament. Yeah, NASA doesn't always lie. A trajectory simulation incorporating the above requirements is presented in reference 8. In addition to the above requirements, this simulation assumes a vehicle with 6 degrees of freedom and aerodynamic symmetry in roll, and the missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. This trajectory simulation was programmed on the IBM 704 electronic data processing machine and is the basis for all trajectory computations made in this paper. Interesting. You tell me what the sky looks like, okay? It's rotating up there. But are we rotating down here? Look at that. Look at them stars. Look at Polaris, that central star that doesn't move. A list of 52 countries where the Bible is illegal or severely persecuted. You know, we gotta pray for those countries. That's so sad. They can't even worship God. You know, it's really sad how we take for granted our freedom. William Tyndale burned at the stake for translating the Bible into the English language in 1536 C. That is insane. This is just trying to translate it. They do not want you to know. Why is this so touchy? They do not want you to know the Bible. They do not want you to know God. You know why? And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's why. That's why they don't want you to know. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue you in my love. This is our great work. This is why we're alive. This is what we're commissioned to do. There's many versions of the Bible, and there's older versions, the 1611 KJV Bible version, for instance, or how about the Apocrypha? Well, there's 14 books removed from the Bible as well. How about that? You could read the 66 books, that's fine. You could read it in a different translation, that's fine. But the point is, getting into the true word, and falling in love with his spirit, finding him, seeking after him, seeking after his face. I know I'm going over a lot, like a wide variety of things right now, but just understand that it's all connected, and it all goes back to lies versus truth, as I am going to keep pointing back to. Oregano oil is great if it's purely from the source of the oregano oil and it isn't messed with. Mullein leaf itself is obviously a property God gave us. Zinc comes from vegetables and things in the earth. So again, we can buy these things and or go back to our roots. Go back to the source that made them. Go back to the original function of it. Okay, in 2 Timothy chapter 3 it says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." Guys, we are in those days. Okay, honey, listen, we're in the book of Revelations. Almost everything in this book already has come to pass, and a lot of it is already talking about times before. Most of it is talking about times before. All of it, nothing new is under the sun. It was all finished at the cross. God already won, and it's already written. So truthfully, we just need to catch up to what has already been written, the true history, his true story, not the fake history books, but the true story of him, okay? His story, the true history, okay? These perilous times will be fine with God. It doesn't have to sway us. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. This is what I've been talking about. Self-love, this selfishness is making people ill, covetous, wanting other people's things, holding things hostage yourself, boasters, proud, arrogant, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, haughty, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such people turn away. Turn away. I'm not trying to be mean if I don't want to let you into my close circle, but I have no business with you if you are from the darkness. All of these corporations that we trust and listen to are all owned by the same people. Everything that we've ever watched in our lives is by these companies is a branch off of something in the Bible and just a deeper spiritual story. And the fantasy that they want people to think that's fantasy or science fiction is not. A new study shows we can get you to believe anything as long as we say it's a new study. and we talk about the story of Bigfoot and chasing after mythological stories, and those are also, what did I just say? What did I just say? I said that mythical stories are true. You know, we did have and do have giants, and they're called Nephilim. Look at these giant doors. That is not made for me. I don't need that big of a space to get through. What, you know, what is on Earth? What's under Earth? What needed this big door built? We saw the Nephilim, and we became like grasshoppers in our own sight. Yeah, I would assume that I would, I would likely believe I would feel like a grasshopper next to a Nephilim. You know, these movies say a lot. I think this was from the movie Divergent. So does that mean angels have intervened in human evolution? I think she said why, and he said vengeance. Kind of just keeping quiet here and letting you see these images. I mean, what do you think about demons? Do you think that this couldn't be a spiritual world that really exists? What about saints? I mean, this is crazy. You know, Baal, or whatever, that they used to sacrifice children to, this big old burnt offering demon, Moloch, an idol named Moloch. A great many people used to pray to this idol. It had the head of a calf and was made of brass, and it was hollow inside. There was a place in the side to make a fire in it. So freaking sick. When it got very hot, the wicked people used to put their little children in its arms. I can't. The little children were burned to death there. This man in the picture is just going to put a little child in the idol's arms. Other men are blowing on trumpets and beating drums, making a great noise so that no one can hear the poor little child cry. They just built this statue, I think, in New York, or I'm really bad geographically, but that's an interesting idol there, telling us to be quiet. Just with the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil nonsense. What are we all being quiet about? I'm not taking no oath of silence about nothing. I think this was like a Netflix show, like a scary movie, like Like, viewer discretion is advised. But how sick are we getting mentally? You know, this was over in New York City when everything was on fire. Again, what spirit are they trying to summon around these parts? Saying, what is this empty cathedral with walls like this? I just decided, let's just paint, angel demons in the sky. Here. That's a good mural. Let's just paint a doorway to the bottomless pit up here. Let's just open up some things in there. They just did this recently. I mean, let's just paint this area. And, random pictures. No big deal. Come on. Yeah, this is a book. Okay, The Compass of Pleasure. And I just have a question for you. Are you seeking pleasure over God? Over truth? I can't even begin to tell you how deep that the rabbit hole goes of Lucifer. Satan is the, Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. These are some of the, books that aren't in our local Bibles or accessible everyday Bibles. Interesting. Why don't they want us to read these? The Book of Enoch was not included in the canon of the Hebrew Bible. It tells of Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who lived for 365 years and walked with God. The displayed fragment describes the heavenly revolt of the fallen angels and their descent to earth to cohabit with daughters of men and reveal secret knowledge to mankind, a story hinted at in Genesis 6:1-4. I mean, why in the world would Satan ever want you to read the Book of Enoch about what's going on here? That thing is burnt up. Do you see a face in this $20 bill like a demon with a horn? It's kind of weird. Where is it? Do you see that? Maybe it's not that clear of a picture. That looks similar. Are we in Egypt again? Are we in Egypt again, man? Let's set the captives free. When, I was at work one day and a customer just randomly handed me this. he just came up to me and gave me this little card. I can't tell you how many times that I go to my car or go out in public places and there's people preaching on street corners, thank God. People handing out free Bibles, thank God. People feeding the poor, thank God. People praying for each other in the streets, thank God. People trying to street preach, thank God. People trying to reach the poor and help. And, if you're seeking Him, then I assure you, you will find Him. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Alright, I think this is a good place to wrap up this little portion of some of the things I've been learning over the past few years. I hope that this message edified you. I hope that you gained some spiritual wisdom. And I hope that you got some peace in the clarity. You know, ignorance is not bliss. Knowing that you were lied to doesn't feel good, but knowing the truth makes so much more sense than the lies that make no sense, and we know it. Alright, I pray that you all are well.
Oh, don't you just wish they had smell-o-vision?
Yeah, smell-o-vision.
Oh, yeah.
Tinga.
Some flavor.
Flavor. So you gotta start cooking up your food, tearing up your food, loving on your food, loving on each other, praying for each other. Cut it out. Let's go get in the spirit of health, love, light, truth, and be better to one another, to ourselves. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up. I love you so much. Pray for you. Pray this message found you well. Alright.